Hello and welcome to Conquering Mount Scrapmore with Brenda. I'm Brenda, and today we're bringing you a cute little traditional block called Rock Garden. Now this is perfect scrap buster. This really is to use up all your 2.5-inch squares, but you could also make this in a 2-inch size scale as well. And I'll give you both those cutting instructions in the show notes below. But also in the show notes below, I want you to go check out Jean Brittingham at Jean Brittingham Kept in Stitches. Now she's a new Facebook or a YouTube channel, and she's also, I believe, going to start a Facebook group. Don't quote me on that. But when you go check her out, tell her that Brenda from Conquering Mount Scrapmore sent you, and give her our support. Her voice will be very interesting and hopefully a lot of fun. So that's one of the things that's going to be in the show notes. The other thing is in the show notes is our Facebook group. Now our Facebook group is growing rapidly, and we're having a lot of fun sharing pictures and using the rooms and in the Facebook group. So you actually get to sew with the members in the Facebook group in that room. Now, there's also going to be Zoom coordinates for our next virtual sew date, which starts at 9 o'clock on the first Saturday of the month, unless it's a stat holiday. So that's going to be listed in the show notes below. So depending on what device you're looking at, make sure you get a peek at those show notes. Share, like, and subscribe with your friends. Over half of you aren't subscribed to us, so that would really help us out if you subscribe. So without further ado, let's get to Rock Garden. Okay, so here we go. Now, there's going to be a couple of changes in the cutting instructions, or their additions. Like this center here, this with the purple, I've cut that into 4 2.5-inch squares. Now, you could use a 4.5-inch square and just snowball it. And that is going to be in the cutting instructions as well. The reason I love this purple and I wanted to use it in this block, and the only way I could use it is this way. So that's how we ended up with this. There's also going to be a 2-inch scale, which means the squares here on the side and everything is going to be for a 2-inch scale. And that's going to be also in the show notes, so it would make a smaller block. This is based on a 16 patch. So the first thing we're going to do is we already kind of finger press my line on my my square. So all I got to do, I got to change my foot because obviously I got the wrong foot on there again. This is constant, right? It's a constant battle with the feet. But yeah, this is such a cute block, and it does lend itself to be very scrappy. Now, when I'm cutting off these bonus triangles, I'm going to make sure that I have enough to go through, like, to make another little block out of them, right? So they're not going to be wasted. I never waste anything in here. Now I will use them. I will use them. So I'm just going to get all the white ones done. The white and gray one's done first. Now, I always think this block looks a little better. You can put all the scrappy happiness you want into it, but I always think it looks better if there's something that causes unity within the block, right? Which is my gray. That's, I know it's kind of a blue tone gray. It probably looks more blue than gray in the camera, but trust me, it's gray. And I just think it just gets a little bit more, it provides unity. So if you're doing this, let's say in a big quilt, and you wanted some continuity in your quilt, I'm working on the inside. Now if this was a 4.5-inch square, you would just take you would snowball your squares, right? So, and we'll do one like that at a later. We'll do another one like that later. Not in this video, but in a later video. And there we go. Yeah, like I say, I'm halfway done now. Almost halfway done. There. Oh, it's not going. I'm not going to go there. There we go. Now, We'll start replacing our corners first. We'll start working on the corners first. We'll cut off that bit. 2, 3, and 4. Okay, now we're going to decide which is the best one. That's the best one. So now I'm just going to cut a 1/4 inch with the world's tiniest scissor. Because, yeah, I can. Okay, and we are pressing to the dark. So the dark on the gray, the pale gray and white is, of course, is going to be the gray. I have so much of this these floral prints, and there's probably easier ways to do this. If you had one of those rulers that cut your triangles all ready to go with one of the dog ears done, it would probably have been much easier and much quicker. But that's okay. We'll get there. We'll get there. Now I have, with the stuff I've cut off here, I'm going to use that as our leader enders. And of course now we get the center triangles. And we're going to press to the purple. The purple is darker, so that's where we're going to press to. Okay. There we go. Now, this is such a fun one to do when you have lots of like little squares you want to use up. Because you can put, like I had, you could also do this with 4.5 inch rectangles here in whatever color you want to do. It is called something else, but I mean, the idea is the same, right? So now that we no longer need this foot to make flat seams with, we can change out our foot back to our good 1/4 inch. I don't know where I lucked out on this. We bought this on Amazon, I believe, and it is a really nice 1/4 inch foot. There we go, last one. Now, there we go. There. Now I'm just going to quickly run the rest of these through, just so I have all the little pieces sewn together. Like I say, this will come together like a cute little pinwheel or whatever. It'll be fine. It'll look lovely. And now when you do lots of these, it's probably more fabric frugal. I was pulling out of my cut scraps and my cut bits, so that's why, you know, I was using up this stuff, and I thought, okay, well, we can use up, because you got to use that, the cut bits up too, you know. Okay, now, so this is already sewed together and webbed, right? So you would web it just like this. You would take it and you would put it under here. We're not squaring up, we're not doing anything, we're just sewing, right? Here we go. There. This is a nice block to do. Yeah. So anyways, if I was going to do a whole quilt with this and do it all crazy scrappy, I would want to pick some continuity color, like gray or whatever. Each block has some gray in it, so it would look like it was scrappy but went together. Now it's kind of a different concept than what we are normally doing here, but that's okay. Now I'm just going to, now this webbing I'm going to do so that I have 2 pieces to web together, which is not normally what I do, right? Because normally I would go row by row, but we think you guys have understood this. We think you guys have got this. This is all good. Well, I'm going to get rid of these, and there's my little triangle bits. And what I'm going to do, here we go. Now, I'm going to trim off the little dog ears, or the little tail bits. There. And now I have little ones, little triangles to deal with, or bonus triangles, or, you know, the cutoffs, all these little ones. Now these things are going to only measure tiny little bits. They're not going to be big. They're not big at all. Okay. Now we're just going to quickly lay them out this way so that they all spin the right way. There we go. There, just like that. We're going to press to the dark, and they all spin the same way now, right? So, and they will nest. That's the important thing. You want to work on nesting so that everything nests to the center. There we go. And just get that nested nice. They don't have to match because they're bonus, and you will square them up later. Okay, so it's a 16 patch, so what we're going to do is just lay all this back out again. My fingers aren't working very good today. Oh well. Okay. So there's one part of our webbing, and this is the other part of our webbing. And now all we have to do is sew down the center, and we're done. Well, and then we start sewing the rows this way, right? So, okay, so let's get this done. Oh, there we go. Now, some people, what they do is they flip one of these the other way so that the points will nest. And that's actually not a bad idea, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to flip this one. Oops, wait a minute, where did this go? I'm going to flip this one down. And this one goes up. Okay. I know this kind of looks a little weird, doesn't it? So you line up your purple edges. Now I have changed the position of the bottom, so instead of it going this way, it's going that way now. So that seam is going to nest beautifully. Now you put your whites on the edge and your blues together. There we go. And now you clip this all off. Get your dog ears off. The other one. I know this is such a. I know I always do this kind of thing, right? Even when I'm doing, like, let's say I'm going to make, you know, 35 or 40 of these blocks. Between each one of these, I would do this, right? Just so I would have it all done at once, not, you know, do my leader and enders as we go. Now you're going to flip to the purple, and you press into the purple. That's because that's your dark. Okay. There we go. Oh, come on. Yeah, my fingers aren't working. We were under an extreme cold weather warning, and it takes a couple of days now for my body to recover. So, now, you want to match when you're doing these, and you know you have to square them up. You want to match to only the center. It doesn't matter if one of these is taller or shorter, just because you're going to square, when you square it up, the center has to match. The center has to work, right? So, I'm going to get the other one now where it's lined up. There we go. And now we start doing our rows the other way. So, here we go. We've got it all done. All of it's webbed. All of it's webbed together, right? And now we're going to just start sewing the rows. Okay. Now I have to decide, I guess, which way is going where. Okay. So once I get a few in, I stop and I clip this open because I want to be able to see what I'm doing, right? So I want this to go this way. And I want that to nest really well. And this is going to go this way. And this is going to go this way. There. And way down. Okay. Now, I'm going to pop open this pinwheel. One of these, okay, one of these is going to go this way, and the other one's going to go the other way. Right? And now, you're just going to take your little pinwheel. It's a cute little pinwheel. And you're going to flip it this way and match up your center. And there we are. And you can see one of these is much longer than the other, but that's okay. Remember, you're squaring up these little guys. And you're steering to make your point, too. That's important. Okay, now, the next one is going to be the same. So let's get the other side of that one. Okay, get a few stitches in. Now, when I'm doing webbing on a quilt block, I don't necessarily want it. I don't want them to be clipping them. It depends on the block. Okay. All right. There. Now the other pinwheel goes the same way. Okay. This one goes up. This one goes down. There we go. And okay, here we are. And that center is good and nested. We're good. Like I say, this middle one could have been a 4.5-inch square. I don't know if you can see. It could have been a 4.5-inch square that we would snowball, but I didn't have a piece of fabric that big. So sometimes you have to work with the fabric, you know, because you only have so much fabric, and you have to kind of, okay, I want this in this block, but I don't have as much. So sometimes you have to just, okay, we just have to make it work. Okay, there we go, and this is going to go up, and this is going to go down. So the center, this one's, the bottom is going this way, and the top is going this way, and it nests beautifully. And this is going this way. Oh, I just twisted my seam. Oh, it's okay. I'll show you how to fix the twisted seam. That's a perfect time to do that. And I don't have anything else to sew. Okay, so I guess I gotta take it all off. Now, okay. Before we go further, okay, I have a twisted seam right there, right? Instead of me picking it and going, oh no, what have I done? I can snip it right to the stitch line, but not through the stitches. And then I just finger press that in place. I make sure I don't have any flip seams there. Yes, I do. So here we go. We're flipping that one. And we're flipping this one. And we're flipping this one. Because we're going to have, sometimes, you know, it doesn't matter how you sew it, you're going to have seams that are just going to twist. So you might as well learn how to do this. And like I say, you cut down to the stitches, but not through the stitches. And when you open this up, then it's going to all lie flat, right? It's going to lie flatter. And when you iron it and everything else. See, now this is where it twisted. I could have snipped it up here, and, you know, then it would see, maybe we would get a little lighter, or a little, you know, it would lie a little flatter. But that's basically how you deal with twisting your seams. Okay, let's get to our ta-da moment. Okay, so this is my interpretation of rock garden. Isn't this adorable? This is kind of just a cute, fun little thing to go do, right? Now, if you were doing this out of you want to make your center a solid piece and eliminate these seams here in the middle, right? You could just work with a 4.5-inch square if you're doing a 2.5-inch scale, or you could work with a 3.5-inch square if you're working with a 2-inch scale. The cutting instructions will be below. Don't panic, right? Now, out of this block with all those flip and stitch corners, what I was able to do is make 2 cute 2.5-inch pinwheels, right? They're just going to be darling, and they're going to be making an appearance on a future video on orphan blocks and what to do with them. And these are just the cutest things I've ever seen on a while. I just love little tiny things like this. So, I mean, it's not wasteful. I think I threw out just like crumbs by the time I was done squaring up stuff. So it's all good. So I hope you have a fabulous week ahead. And until we meet again, okay, you take care. All right, bye. My husband and I would love to thank you for coming along with us on our quilting journey and the YouTube adventure that we're on. We have some wonderful plans for 2023, and it includes a lot more, like with the Facebook group and the rooms feature and sewing and hanging out with people. Those monthly Zoom sew dates are still in the works. We have a lot of fun ideas coming up for 2023, and we hope you share, like, and subscribe with your friends. That little notification button and subscribing to us really helps us out. Commenting helps us out too. So if you like what you're seeing, let us know. Even send us a heart on the comment. That helps so much for us. Okay, you have an absolutely fabulous 2023, and all of our best wishes for you in the future. Okay, take care. Bye.